Got a little setup back there now, dog.
I got to come correct, man. Yeah, you leveled up. I got to level up too.
Whoa. What is this I'm hearing right now? You are sounding kind of crisp right now, dog. Yo, who is this guy? All this high quality audio.
We are real production now.
Which bodysuit is that? What's that from? Oh, that's 17.
No, that's 17. That's where, yeah.
That's 17. That's the Bolt win. Viewers, if you got a connection to Bolt, just let him know that the bodysuit that Justin has up is the one where he defeated Bolt. That's the one he wants on the wall. Let's take a look at the show rundown. What is track and field famous? I've seen it, but I don't know if there's a real definition of it. I know, but I don't know. I've come across it, but I don't really know how to define it. We gotta dive into that and talk about that. Also, 20 or not 20. Yeah, that's the whole Luguelin Santos situation. For those who don't know, Dominican Republic 400-meter sprinter recently got in trouble for falsification of some passport information 12 years ago. We don't know exactly what happened, but we know that the AIU has suspended him now for something that happened 12 years ago.
Long time.
So we're going to talk about that. Also, the Norwegian Warriors. I'm talking about Jakob Inberbrigtsen. Talking about Karsten Warholm. These guys are different. War is in his name, Justin. War. It's in his name for a reason. We have a special guest. Felix Sanchez, a two-time Olympic champion, had a streak of 43 victories, went 4 years undefeated in the 400-meter hurdles. Y'all know Will Collins, Fast University. We got a new segment called Coach's Corner. Just talk about some coaching themes that we came across we want to talk about. We get some coaching insight. We're going to have a lot of coaches coming in for that segment. So some coaches can get some shine, you know what I'm saying? They never really get any shine. I mean, some of them are getting that check, but they don't necessarily get that shine. You know what I'm saying?
They're getting that quiet money.
Yeah, they're getting the quiet shine. It was in the good times. Obviously, it was Talu. Then there was ERRIYON. Then there's CRAVONT Charleston again. This guy needs to save his leg for nationals, though. I hope he's sharpening up and not just using his load. Pause. What is track and field famous? There's been athletes in the track and field world and even in history, like the Carl Lewises, the Ben Johnsons, even the Marion Joneses. Yeah. And you could tell me what your scenario was like, but they couldn't go places in public without being flocked. They had that level of success anywhere in North America and in Europe. That's what it was. I don't know if it's the same now. After you won the Olympics in 2004, I saw you on Jay Leno.
Yeah.
You were at the Source Awards.
Yeah, I've been to the ESPYs a couple times. Won an ESPY. Yeah.
Right. How comparable is it to like an NBA player?
Track and field famous is within track and field, right? That's what I feel like when people talk about speed, or when they talk about how fast you are, who the fastest person is or fastest female is, your name does come up. Now, when you transcend past that point, that's when you are at award shows and people kind of attach you to Olympic gold medals, world champion, you on Wheaties boxes, you're winning awards. You are the face of track and field to a lot of people.
But would it ever be at a level of like, okay, for instance, that's the whole Zion Williamson situation. They're in his personal life. Has anyone been famous enough in track and field for the media and paparazzi to be jumping into their personal life?
I mean, continuously? No, not continuously.
A lot of people in the comments are saying Sha'Carri for sure. And Bolt. Sha'Carri's fame is kind of weird though. Like, she ran fast, but it's just crazy how it erupted. And it wasn't only because of the weed. Like, she was famous after USA's. It was something about her that was just, there was a factor that was causing people to be drawn to her, to respond to her, to want to follow her, to want to know what's going on with her. And then the weed thing just kind of made her infamous. But she was famous before that. There was something about her. What was it?
Two factors. The fact that she represents the culture with the lace fronts, the long hair, the long nails. That's what a large majority of women are wearing right now within that kind of that genre. Let's be real, right? Tattoos. But no, I'm just being serious. But at the end of the day, also the unapologetic energy that comes with that as well. You know what I mean? instead of having an athlete that governs themselves and want to be very, I wish all my competitors well, I think having that bravado, having that attitude, that puts those athletes in that space where people want to get more of them.
This is what I'm gathering from what you're saying. There's an energy that someone gives off when they almost act famous. They have an energy of a famous person, and when that's given off, people will respond to it. Like Sha'Carri acts like she's somebody. I shouldn't say acts. She conveys that she's somebody. I'm somebody. You should want to follow me and flock me and get into my life, and because I'm somebody, yo. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Everybody.
What's good? What's good? What's
Little boys, man. What's good? What's good?
Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, what's good, yo?
Appreciate the invitation. I had to put a hoodie on because even though it's 90 degrees out here, I just felt I needed to have a hoodie just to feel the part, you know?
You get the two loudest crowds I've ever heard in my life, okay? One of them was at a Raptors playoff game. And the other, second loudest I've ever heard in my life, was the crowd at the Dominican Republic at the 2003 Pan American Games where Felix Sanchez was running his 400-meter hurdle final. So you understand fame. When you walk around in the Dominican Republic, can you? Or at that time?
No. It boggles my mind now that I'm still recognized like with the same levels, like wow, and I haven't put on some spikes and ran a race in almost since what, 2015? But it's just what I did. When you're the first to do something, it sticks. And I was the first to win a gold medal, and then I was the first to win 2 gold medals. And just putting a sport that's not a conventional sport in the Dominican Republic on the map, because we're famous for baseball players, but they play for their teams, the Yankees, the Braves. I ran for the Dominican Republic, so it was this different sense of pride.
So you were up there with the baseball players. Or above.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I met Alex Rodriguez, Pedro Martinez, and I'm meeting these guys, and I'm like, and they're like, "Yo, Felix." And the way they're fans of me, it blew my mind because I was just like, I just run track. That's all I do is run track. You're baseball famous, and just to feel that they were just as much a fan of me than I was of them was mind blowing, honestly. But going back to Sha'Carri. She has it. She got that fire, that personality. She exudes confidence. We've gotten to the level where they know you by your first name. You've made another level of famous. And when you're polarizing and you got just as many haters as lovers, that's when you know you're doing something in track and field. Very few people are like Alice and Felix, where you're famous and everyone loves you.
You feel like Allison was like famous?
Thanks.
Yeah, she was famous. She just had
I feel like
her
she
own
moves,
little style.
Yeah, she moves with like grace, with royalty. You know what I mean? Don't have to say much, but you understand. You see her presence. You know,
her results talk more than anything. She wasn't.
I would say that.
She wasn't.
I would say that.
Yeah.
I feel like she can go to the grocery store, and she'd be all right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Your grocery store run is fairly normal, I think. Similar to anyone.
Yeah. Little ball cap, maybe a little ball cap.
Is it famous or are you a national treasure? Famous people can go out and party. Famous people can have a great time. But when you're a national treasure, everyone's in awe of you. Even celebrities are in awe of you because you're unique. You're one of one.
And my situation was actually the two extremes because I was like Michael Jackson famous in Dominican Republic. People all eyes on you when you walk in, what you're doing, what you're drinking, who you with. Like that's just different, and not everybody's ready for that. I wasn't ready for that, and I was Joe Blow in the States, and I loved that balance.
Yeah. Before we move on to this next topic, I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. I think a good barometer to judge someone's success is this is only coming up because we were talking about Zion, okay? So that's the only reason. A good barometer is the type of attention you get when you walk into a strip club, yo. So if you're a regular dude, you get a regular approach. But I'll say this: I went to a strip club once with a fastest man in the world. I won't say who. I narrowed it down enough.
You and Carl Lewis are throwing ones in the strip club, is what you're saying?
I will say no names. I will say no names. And the response was, you know what I'm saying? It was all right. It was cool.
Don't trip now.
It was a long time ago.
The moment you walk in, everybody's on their phone Googling and see in Wikipedia and see exactly how much you make it, your net worth. So they don't care what movies you've been in, how many races you ran. They're trying to see what your pockets look like, Doug.
That's what it was like, Justin? Is that what you're saying?
I wasn't with you. That wasn't me that time.
I'm just saying if they thought we were going into...
So this one time I was with this Canadian runner. I don't want to put nobody's name out there. You know?
Oh, damn. 20 or not 20? That is the question. Now, 400-meter runner Luguelin Santos, who's actually really good. Me and him had the same agent, yo. And all my papers are straight, y'all. Just so y'all know, don't catch me on some shit 12 years ago. But anyways, recently he got in trouble for falsification on his passport as a under 20 athlete in 2012, right? So now, today, in 2023, AIU has suspended him for what had happened in 2012. Do you guys feel like it's long gone? Like, why are we even talking about this anymore? Or do you feel like they should have put the hammer down on this?
I get it. But I think it should have been dealt with. Yeah, no, I mean, I coach him. I felt like it should have been handled like low key and just what they're gonna do. They should just do it. They shouldn't have put it out there like that. Is my point. I don't know any other case of any previous champions being busted for not being under 18 or under 20 when they won their championship. It's not something new in the Dominican Republic, unfortunately. We have a history in baseball, but for track and field, I think they want to set a precedent and make an example of him. It's sad that it's something that they made public and not something they just handled on, because it kind of tarnishes. So the average track and field fan is not going to really understand that it's something that doesn't have anything to do with his success as a senior.
Right.
It's provisional suspension, so I mean, they need to make a decision either way.
Yeah, they do.
Because it's tough. It's tough for me as a coach, and it's tough for him as an athlete, not knowing if he's gonna be able to compete or not.
How did this even come about? Like, this is 12 years ago?
They obviously doing their homework and checking documents and passports. And they gave him a notification like, yo, you got to sit down till we figure this out. And I was like, oh.
These AIU people are bored, yo. I don't understand how this can come up now.
Clearly.
How does this come up now, dog? I don't care.
Track and field is known for that, though. Putting like a tarnish on different athletes for small infractions or infractions that are not really, that's beneficial towards the sport. I can understand keeping things fair, but this really doesn't have nothing to do with that at the moment. That's my opinion.
But you got to realize that it's not necessarily track and field. It's a third party to the federation. So that's what AIU is. That's what WADA, USADA. They're controlling what the narrative is. They're the ones that putting stuff out. They're the ones that's making the rules. They're the ones that's scouring it over a decade back just to be able to come up with something. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's right or wrong, but the fact is we got a lot of things in our sport that we should be working about fixing and making a better sport. Instead of worry about something that was 12 years ago on one guy who went out there, he's 19, let's just say 19 years old. You can't tell me he knew how to falsify a birth certificate or a passport of any kind at 19 years old. I'd like to know more of the story before you put it out there. That's just, I think that would be just for the story.
This is a way to get famous, apparently. You know what I'm saying? Track and field is famous for making people famous.
Infamous. Yeah.
Off of infamy. Like, you could become known by doing some bad shit or being accused of doing some bad shit. You ain't even, it's not even confirmed whether you did something or not. Let's just put it out. And yeah, let's mess up their reputation, mess up their lives. And it may not be true. There may be a reason. That's track and field, yo. Other organizations don't do that. Most organizations, they don't cover some shit up as long as it needs to be. Maybe forever, or when it's the right time for it to come out. But they ain't gonna put themselves in a position to where it's gonna mess up the business. I'm not a genius. I can just see the obvious. This just seems like it's something that has to be looked at from a business standpoint. Like, look, we got to be a bit smarter, a bit more discreet with some of this shit, especially when we don't have all the information. It does no justice for the sport. There ain't no statute of limitations on shit like this.
On God though. On God. On God, I'm thinking the same thing.
I want to talk about these Norwegian Warriors. I'm talking
about Valhalla boys.
Inberbrigtsen, and I'm talking about Karsten Warholm. You got to call him Warholm. These cats are just wired differently, yo. These cats, you could tell that the sport just means more to them. The winning and the competition and how they impose themselves. Now, I want to play some clips from some interviews I came across so you guys can get a sense.
I think you're bringing a lot more to the sport than even just your own performances. There was 8 guys tonight under 330, and it was all because they were trying to just chase you down. Like, you're bringing the sport to a new level. Like, how does that make you feel?
I don't think they tried to chase me down, but I think they tried to hold on for as long as they could. So obviously that's a big benefit.
That was respectfully disrespectful.
And that's it. They're not trying to chase me down. Like,
bro.
That's not happening. They're trying to hold on for
They're just trying to hold on, bro. Yeah.
Looking forward to taking on Jake Whiteman in the championship again?
I look forward to take down everyone and do what I should have done a long time ago.
Wow.
And they're Norwegian. He's saying that in English. What do you think he's saying in his language?
Bruh.
What you think he's saying in his language?
Oh, hell yeah.
He's talking brazy.
Exactly.
He's talking brazy. I like this, though.
Exactly.
I feel like they're Asgardian. They're from, like, where Thor is from.
That's that Viking in their blood.
Those are like mafia tattoos he got on his arms, right?
Yo,
that's organized crime tats. Those are organized crime tats, bro. I know that's
You obviously just like lay it all out there, training, racing. Is that just the way you go?
Yeah, I think so. It's in my nature, you know. I'm very competitive, and I'm also. This means a lot to me, and I think you can see it through my running. And without trying to be cocky, I think actually we have changed the way that everybody runs the 40-meter hurdle. So you can see that a lot of people start faster now than they did, even in the women's. I think before it was more like everybody was talking about this rhythm, and you have to find a rhythm and starting slow and finish the race fast. But I think, you know, this is a sprint. You know, the same way if you've seen Wade Van Niekerk's 400-meter world record, it's the same way. You gotta open tough, because you can't go out there and pick up those tenths in the end. So I think it's a nice way of solving it.
big respect.
This cat said straight, I changed the event, yo.
2016, I'm watching him. He was nobody. One of his compatriots, Andreas Storkeden, the javelin thrower, and he said, "Hey, watch my guy. He's a young talent. He used to be a decathlete. Let me know what you think of him. And when he comes up, I want him to meet you, and I want you to talk to him." So I'm watching this guy. He rolled a 300 and died. Horrible death. And I was like, yo, he needs to pace it. He needs to be going out too hard. Obviously, I didn't know what the hell I was talking about, because he's going out even faster now and holding on. And sometimes I wish I was running now to race these guys and try, because obviously you're a product of your environment. Like in my day, to win, you had to pace. You weren't going to go out and die and someone run by you. But now he's raised the bar. He's changed the game. He's changed the way they approach the game. So now to beat him, you got to match him. You can't just let him go because you're not going to catch him.
Hey, Felix, what do you think you could have done with these shoes they got now?
I tried these spikes on the other day, about a month ago. And I mean, I'm overweight, so it's not going to be the same. But the bounce and the what you get back, the energy you get back from when you step, you get a lot back if you do it the right way. And they're definitely a game changer.
What would you have done in your prime with these spikes?
I wouldn't have run what these guys are running, 46, 45. But I would have broke the world record. I ran 47, 25. In Paris in 2003 with these spots, I would have run 46. I don't know how fast 46, but I would have run 46 for sure. Right. I would have been able probably to even go 13 for 2 hurdles more instead of 5 to go to 7, which was unheard of. My height, most of the people my height were going 14 or 15 strides. I was the only one going 13. But that would have allowed me to push the pace further and go out harder. Again, I think it goes to applied force and how you run. Not one shoe fits all. And a lot of these cats and ladies that are leaving Nike and going into Puma, it's a different shoe. It gives you something different. When you get accustomed to a certain shoe and you get something else, it doesn't fit right, doesn't give what you expect back from the track, then you start questioning your training, you start questioning everything, and it's the shoes. It's the shoes.
Yeah. Tyson Gay went from Adidas, wore Adidas all his life, right? His whole track career, he wore Adidas. He started wearing Nikes. We were at the World Relays in the Bahamas, and we're standing on the podium, and I look down, and his white shoe is turning red because his toes started bleeding because his feet were not used to the Nike shoe.
Maurice Green, when he left Nike, went to Adidas. It took him a couple years for Adidas to make a spike that he was comfortable in. I was with Nike because they would show it, and it was a big talk. They were stripping down the Nike plate and putting an Adidas upper on it for a lot of years.
Shame on Adidas, boy. That was a bad spike, though. That was the worst spike, though. That was like a brick with spikes on the bottom, though.
That was like a loaf of bread.
Let's dive a little deeper. You've seen Usain's shoe. Usain has some old heavy. Yes. They were not for sprinting.
Yeah, Jamaicans though, they have very, very strong feet. The kids don't wear shoes.
They wear no shoes. Yeah, don't wear no shoes. Yeah.
So their feet are very, 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 very strong and conditioned to be very, very responsive. I tried to play with the kids and take my shoes off. I bust my toe open, when I was like 5. But they already have strong feet, Now, some people who don't have strong feet aren't getting that responsiveness. All of a sudden get that. And that changes everything. You become a different sprinter. You're talking about like an inch on a stride over 100 meters. You're talking about 3 feet. You're talking about let alone 2 inches. I don't want to, since we're talking about Karsten, I kind of want to hear some of your reviews on his race that just happened in Oslo. He opened up with 46.5, dog.
It's just crazy, man. And he runs on the outside. That's a new thing now. I used to like to run on the inside. All these cats want 6 and 7. And he's just going. He's going. Look at him. Wow. And everything's calculated. His trail leg is beautiful. It comes right down. And he looks like he's overstriding, but he's not. That's how much effort he's putting into this. His arm swing is big from jump. Like I used to carry on the curve and then pump coming home. He's pumping from jump. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, he dropped down from 13 to 15. He's not even in shape right now to hold the 13 all the way around. That's what's crazy. Dang. He chopped to the last. So
we haven't seen nothing yet.
He's gonna break the world record. He's gonna break it again. He's going to break it again. The one-off races in the 400 hurdles are nothing compared to when you got rounds. No one runs on a one-off. No, you need to get to... Really, and it's his first race. Like, what?
What would it take to beat Warholm? And what strategy is necessary to
You got to go with him. You got to go with him. You got to go with him. You cannot be scared to go. Go with him. I'm right here. Let's go. But you got to train for that.
Yeah.
He literally changed the game. You have to commit to his racing style to beat him. And if you're not
There's no
committed
room.
to that racing style, you can't go to a championships and try and show up and run that race because you're gonna die.
Yep.
And there's no way around it. And you got to put yourself in positions in training that you pressing from the gun. This is not a comfortable race anymore. And for Ride, that's gonna mean he has to alternate because he has the speed and the strength that Warholm doesn't have. He's guarded. He's comfortable because if he goes too hard, he's gonna have to go 12. Come on, run 19, 44, 1. For the hurdles, I'm sorry. When you want to race at those speeds where Warholm is running, you gotta compete. And these cats ain't competing. Look, back in my day, where is he running? Put me inside of him. Let's go. And he could beat me 6 times, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Coach's Corner. Will, you were over at High School Nationals. It just happened this past weekend.
That New Balance, New Balance Nationals.
There. Yeah. Yo, you said the name like they're paying you. Yo, you made sure to say it. The New Balance.
I'm just saying, you know, I much love to New Balance, showing love. Shout out to Magic Anderson.
You have to say it, yo. Damn.
I'm just saying, gotta let them boys know.
I'm just saying, I got you. I feel you, Doc. But obviously, when you're at an event like that, what kind of things do you look for in up-and-coming athletes?
It's just the way that they conduct themselves from the warm-up to the point where they're getting into the blocks. The professionalism is there. You can see it. Also, you know, these kids are being trained by professional coaches similar to me. And, you know, these kids are getting that professional preparation, and even their concepts in their mind of how to execute the race is so very professional. So these are no longer just children. That's really the big thing I've noticed out there. And what I look for in an athlete per se that, you know, on the rise is how do they approach, you know, winning? And then how do they approach losing? And how does that motivate them to go to the next situation? Because track and field, you're not always going to win. And quite often, especially in the pro game, you're going to see a lot more losses than you will see wins up front. I don't care how fast you are. You know what I mean? You could be the fastest high school kid ever, like, period. Like Aaron Knighton, he still lost. You know what I mean? Just like Isama Singer, he's beating the pros right now, but wait till his freshman year of going pro. I guarantee you it's going to start to look a lot more even. You know what I mean? Because it's just a different level of game. So, like, I just wanted to see how they handle the wins. Like, some people overindulge in winning. And I think with Assam specifically, I don't think he's overindulging. I think he's owning the moment, taking in the moment, being fairly humble about it, but still being confident in his value and what he brings to the table. And that's something positive. And also shout out to Coach Gerald Freary doing a major job. But, you know, Gerald coached with Lance Brahman. So, I mean, he's a professional coach. And then as far as Shanti, I got a chance to talk with Prashan Jackson. Also, you know, a guy that competed against you a lot, Felix. And if you know Prashan, he going to keep it 100. He going to be cussing at you, and he going to say it. He going to say how he feels. But he's always very genuine. And he told me about, you know, Shanti and his daughter. He was just like, she's going to Arkansas. She's signed with Chris Johnson over there. And he was just like, I want to put my daughter in a position to where she can not only get better, but also have a coach who's willing to adapt to her and her style and what she brings. A lot of times in the college scene, what you see is, I'm not going to shoot no names out, which I could, but I'm not. You know, they usually
cookie cutter programs
or a dictatorship coach. You know what I mean? Where he says, this is what I've been doing forever, and I've created these many Olympians. So why would I do this? But you're saying this is what I'm used to, and this is what makes me activate. This is what incites me to do better. Why wouldn't you work with this similar formula and then start to just put a spin on your own spin on it? Taking a supremely talented younger athlete and bring him into the college system, you have to have a coach who is willing to adapt to what that athlete's needs are and what works for them. A lot of times these guys that are very successful, they have a lot of accolades, they don't feel they need to adjust. And I think as a coach, that's one of the, you know, key indicators of you being a very high level coach, is that you're willing to figure out what works for your athlete and then start to tap into that.
Everybody do the same dance when that song comes on.
Now, you've been doing that since you're a little kid, man. You gotta keep it going.
Yeah, so the first performance we see here is MARIE-JOSEE Talouv
It's the front side
she's been
mechanics
fast,
though.
But now she's fast, man.
Bruh, she's cleaned up the mechanics though.
How come these small girls are rolling out, and you're not gonna see a small cat really roll?
A short person with a strong finish was rare before. Now it's happening a lot.
With a strong finish. That's exactly with a strong finish.
That's true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we got to make sure we really watch this 200 year with Area Night, yo.
I just talked with J-Dot. J-Dot trains him alongside of Coach Holloway. And I mean, he's made some big changes. This dude didn't even know to keep his core tight, bro. And now he knows some of that. I mean, some of the basic things he's picking up now. I mean, he's still got to work on his start. He's not doing it efficiently. If you look at those angles, he's not using the proper angles to make he can maximize. I mean, this kid could be running 19.5s and 4s right now. I mean, he's like that if he would just make it a more efficient race. It's not efficient because the angles that he's taking in the first 6, 7, 8 steps.
CRAVONT Charleston just ran another 9-second race, 9:90.
Where is he from?
Again.
Where is he from?
Which part of the USA is he from?
American.
I don't know, man, but he got his Jesse Owens uniform on, yo. He actually looks like Jesse Owens when he runs, dog.
Yeah.
He got a different style.
That's Jesse.
Yeah.
He got that
black and white.
He got that hunched over right there, yeah.
There's 3 spots. Fred already got a spot. Him, Trayvon, who's in the chat right now, actually, Christian Coleman, Marvin Bracey, and Noah. I think that Fred is going to take this 200 very seriously this year. Noah's going to be in that deuce.
So they haven't. I was really excited about that matchup. Wasn't Curly supposed to be in there?
Fred Curley was announced originally to be in this race. Yes.
I need him to. I need him with that same energy to get on social media and explain why he's not in that race. Everybody was waiting for this.
You gotta speak on it.
This is what I will say. Fred hasn't been handling anybody that's come across him this year. He's undefeated. So there's an argument there that he could say, well, you haven't seen me lose, so why would you think I'd lose? We've seen Noah lose, not in the 2, but we've seen him lose. We haven't seen Fred lose it off. He may not want to show his cards yet. Personally, I feel like he should have lined up just to get a feel for Noah, just so you know. But maybe he don't want to do that. Maybe he knows what he knows, and when it's time, he's going to do what he has to do. But he knows Noah's not going to be easy to beat in that 2.
He's not ducking. I don't think they cut the check.
That makes sense.
That's it right there.
Noah's the man in the 200. He's the man, so he gonna get the most money. And Curly, I'm sure, feels he deserves more than Noah because he's Curly. He ain't scared of Noah. We gotta wait till U.S. Nationals. Hopefully,
you're not gonna see him clash at U.S. Nationals. They're not gonna clash at U.S. Nationals, bro. Like,
you don't think Noah gonna run all 3 rounds?
I think he'll run 100, bro.
Yeah, he run 100. And if he runs 100, that's showing fitness already. He doesn't even have to run the 2 because he showed fitness in 100, right? Wow. So he might not even run the 2 at all.
Yeah. And then Fred don't gotta run 100. Fred can get ready for the 2.
Yeah, but I think Fred's gonna take it really seriously because a lot of people are doubting him, and that's the type of shit that fuels him, yo.